Pinocchio continues to remind all of us to dream. Innovative animation through its endearing character of family films of after 60 years after 60 years Pinocchio still remains one of the most beloved family films of all time. Through its endearing characters, innovative animation, and wonderful storytelling, Pinocchio continues to remind all of us to dream, and then to wish upon a star. A long time ago, in a far...
I wait.
The climactic battle between Prince Philip and the dragon was also intricately choreographed in live action for use as a reference by the animators.
Audley was Mike Audley.
Veteran animators Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston were given the happy task of bringing 3 good fairies to life.
At one point, Walt Special was always the one appointed lead.
Voice recordings and live-action reference films were made by many of Hollywood's best-known character actresses, including speaking voice of Sleeping Beauty was the beginning of her career as a star of the international
Music.
because of its strong reliance on classical music, Sleeping Beauty was recorded in state-of-the-art stereophonic sound. Similarly, its magnificent art and epic scope led to the decision to film Sleeping Beauty in the widescreen 70mm format.
Sleeping Beauty is the first full-length animated feature from Cinderella. They were shot on Gamma 70 like this.
Money, but in the time it took to produce Sleeping Beauty. In addition to the complexity of Sleeping Beauty's production, Walt Disney and his staff were stretched thin, hard at work on Disneyland, 3 television... But as was the case with many other epics, Sleeping Beauty was a gamble. Since it first opened, however, Beauty has influenced...
I think it's something different for years old.
That would keep me in contact.
Who have become the leaders of today's Walt...
And Merriweather.
Voice recordings and live-action reference films were made by many of Hollywood's best-known character actresses, including Spring Byington, Madge Blake, and even Mayberry's Aunt Bee, Frances Bavier. This early work resulted in a completed storyboard presentation in June of 1952. Walt concluded, however, that
everything that followed.
Disney began the ambitious plans for his 3rd feature-length animated fairy tale in the early 1950s. Walt assigned a small team to begin adapting the classic fairy tale, classic film that has been beloved in art and animation. A classic film that has been beloved by generations. Join the celebration as we explore the magic behind-the-scenes story of Walt Disney's dazzling art and animation. A classic film that has been beloved by art and animation. A classic film that has been beloved by generations. Join the celebration of the 70mm format.
Sleeping Beauty is the first...
Art and epic scope led to the decision to film Sleeping Beauty in the widescreen 70mm format.
Chicken Little! What is it? What's going on?
Yes. Let's do it to it.
Good luck, son.
Yeah. You too, Dad.
That's her name. And here's the behind-the-scenes story of the making of Walt Disney's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious masterpiece.
Mary Poppins, practically perfect.
But also classic.
Integrating songs with
In Mary Poppins, people don't realize is that
this film.
What many people don't realize is that Walt Disney's interest in Mary Poppins dated back to 1939. Mary Poppins had been published in 1934 and was wildly popular in England. Walt's brother Roy Disney began negotiations with the author, P.L. Travers, in 1944, while Travers was living in New York to escape the Nazi bombings of London. Many years went by, but the tenacious Mrs. Travers finally released the film rights to the equally determined Mr. Disney in 1961.
Mary Poppins is a live musical
Ellen Shaw Smith. Not only didn't they ever leave Burbank, they never set foot out in a variety of fancy
of the principal cast, but of chimney sweeps, bank,
Dashing young but you must be. Animation came together in 1923.
Ma Jode in The Grapes of Wrath. Mary Poppins was her last film. But establishing a distinguished human cast for Mary Poppins was only half the job. There was an animated cast of co-stars too, and all of these actors had to perform together in a fantasy world.
Oh, where did Grandma?